Welcome to G Fun Facts Online. Take a moment and look at the device you're likely holding right now, or the one that's sitting on the desk beside you, the smartphone. It is so deeply woven into our lives that we barely notice it anymore. But in less than 2 decades, this small rectangle of glass and metal has ignited a global revolution, rewiring the very fabric of human society. Today, we're going to unpack that revolution, from its brick-like beginnings to the pocket-sized supercomputers that connect our world. The journey starts long before slick touchscreens and app stores. The very first public mobile phone call was made way back in 1973 by a Motorola engineer, Dr. Martin Cooper. The device he used was over a foot long and weighed 2.5 pounds, earning it the nickname the Brick. This first generation, or 1G, was purely analog and could only do one thing: make calls. The 1990s brought us into the digital age with 2G. This is when mobile phones started to shrink, and we got our first taste of data with the invention of the text message, or SMS. But the first device we might truly recognize as a smartphone ancestor appeared in 1992, the IBM Simon Personal Communicator. Released to the public in 1994, it was a chunky device with a green LCD touchscreen. It could not only make calls, but also send and receive emails and faxes. It had a calendar, an address book, a calculator. It even had what we would now call apps. The actual term smartphone was coined a few years later in 1997 by Ericsson to describe their new concepts. The early 2000s were dominated by companies like BlackBerry, whose physical keyboards made them the go-to device for mobile productivity. At the same time, 3G networks started rolling out, making the mobile internet a slow but usable reality. But everything changed on January 9, 2007. On a stage in San Francisco, Apple's Steve Jobs unveiled the first iPhone. He introduced it not as a phone, but as 3 revolutionary products in one: a widescreen iPod with touch controls, a revolutionary mobile phone, and a breakthrough internet communications device. The key innovation wasn't just combining these things, it was the multi-touch interface. For the first time, you could navigate with intuitive gestures like pinching to zoom, swiping to scroll, and tapping to select. It was a watershed moment that set the standard for every smartphone that followed. The revolution, however, needed a rival to truly explode. That came in 2008 with the release of Google's Android operating system. Unlike Apple's closed, premium ecosystem, often called a walled garden, Android was open source. This meant any manufacturer, from Samsung to LG to hundreds of smaller brands, could build a phone using it. This unleashed a smartphone war between iOS and Android that dramatically lowered prices and accelerated innovation at a breathtaking pace. Faster processors, better cameras, bigger screens, and new features arrived every year. Suddenly, these powerful devices weren't just for the wealthy. They were becoming accessible to billions. This explosion of hardware created a brand new economic landscape. The launch of the Apple App Store in 2008, followed by the Google Play Store, was the second big bang of the smartphone revolution. It transformed the phone from a simple communication tool into a versatile platform for literally anything you could imagine. This created what we now call the app economy, a massive global market that has generated trillions of dollars in revenue and millions of jobs for developers, designers, and marketers. But the smartphone didn't just create new software, it created new ways of working. It's the bedrock of the gig economy. Companies like Uber, Lyft, and DoorDash built their entire empires on a simple concept: using a mobile app to connect freelance workers with customers in real time. The smartphone is the command center for this new workforce. It's their GPS, their payment terminal, their communication hub, and their job board, all in the palm of their hand. For consumers, it meant unprecedented convenience. For workers, it offered a new kind of flexibility, though this has also sparked intense debate about labor rights and what it means to be an employee. The shockwaves of this revolution have been felt in almost every industry. Take finance. The rise of fintech has been meteoric. Mobile banking apps have made traditional bank branches feel almost obsolete. You can manage your accounts, deposit checks, transfer money, and pay your bills with a few taps. Mobile payment solutions like Apple Pay and Google Pay have made cashless transactions the new norm. The world of retail has been completely turned on its head. E-commerce has boomed, and a huge chunk of that shopping now happens on mobile devices. We can browse, compare prices, and purchase products from anywhere in the world at any time. For retailers, it's a double-edged sword. They can reach a global audience, but they also face immense competition. They're now using complex data analytics, tracking our mobile behavior to create personalized shopping experiences. The way we work has also been fundamentally altered. Access to email, calendars, and countless productivity apps means the traditional 9-to-5 workday has become more fluid. The rise of remote work and telecommuting was massively accelerated by mobile technology, allowing teams to collaborate seamlessly across different time zones and continents. Entertainment has also been remade. The mobile gaming industry now generates more revenue than the film and music industries combined. Streaming services like Netflix and Spotify are primarily consumed on mobile devices, changing how we experience media. Perhaps the most profound impact of the smartphone has been in the developing world. In many of these regions, the smartphone isn't a second screen or a convenience, it is a lifeline. For hundreds of millions of people, it's their first and only connection to the internet, unlocking a world of information and opportunity that was previously unimaginable. This has led to incredible transformations. Let's look at financial inclusion. In countries with few physical banks, mobile payment systems have been revolutionary. The most famous example is M-Pesa in Kenya. It allows users, even those without a traditional bank account, to deposit, withdraw, and transfer money using their phone number as an identifier. This service has lifted countless families out of poverty and empowered a new generation of entrepreneurs. In healthcare, telemedicine apps are bridging vast distances, connecting patients in remote villages with doctors and specialists in urban centers. They provide access to vital health information and consultations that were previously impossible to get. Education is another area of huge impact. A fascinating UNESCO study found that people in developing countries are increasingly reading books and stories on their mobile devices. The study noted that women, in particular, were reading significantly more, using their phones to access educational content and improve literacy for themselves and their children. And for small businesses, mobile technology is a game changer. It allows a farmer in a rural village to check market prices in real time, a local artisan to sell their crafts on a global marketplace, and a small shop owner to manage their finances effectively. Of course, this revolution hasn't been all positive. The same technology that connects us also has a dark side. The first and most personal issue is smartphone addiction. The compulsive need to check our phones is driven by powerful psychological mechanisms. Every notification, like, or message delivers a small hit of the neurotransmitter dopamine, creating a reward loop that's hard to break. This has been linked in numerous studies to increased anxiety, depression, and poor sleep. The fear of missing out, or FOMO, keeps us in a state of perpetual distraction, damaging our ability to focus and be present in the real world. Then there's the critical issue of privacy and security. Our smartphones are intimate diaries of our lives. They hold our financial data, our private conversations, our location history, our health data, our photos, everything. This makes them a prime target for hackers and cybercriminals. Data breaches, malware, and sophisticated spyware are constant threats. Even legal data collection by apps can be incredibly invasive, building a detailed profile of your life to be sold to advertisers. The very platforms that connect us have also become breeding grounds for misinformation. Social media, accessed primarily through our phones, is designed with algorithms that prioritize engagement over accuracy. This has created an environment where false narratives and fake news can spread like wildfire, with dangerous consequences for everything from public health to political stability. We saw this during events like the Arab Spring, where social media was a tool for both organization and propaganda. Finally, there is the environmental impact. The production of a single smartphone is incredibly resource-intensive. It requires the mining of rare earth minerals like cobalt and lithium, a process that can cause immense habitat destruction and pollution, often under poor labor conditions. And what happens when we upgrade? The short lifespan of most devices and very low recycling rates have created a massive and growing problem of electronic waste, or e-waste, which leaches toxic materials into our soil and water. So what's next? As with all technology, the smartphone will continue to evolve, and we may be moving beyond the handheld screen. The next generation of connectivity promises to be even more integrated into our lives. Augmented and virtual reality are poised to be major players. Imagine smart glasses that overlay digital information onto the real world, giving you directions, translating signs, or letting you see virtual furniture in your living room. These wearable devices could one day replace the phone as our main digital interface. Artificial intelligence, which already powers our voice assistants, will become even more sophisticated. The goal is for AI to become a true personal assistant, anticipating our needs before we even voice them. We're also heading towards the Internet of Things, or IoT, a vast network of interconnected devices in our homes, cars, and cities. Your smartphone will likely serve as the central remote control for this smart world, managing everything from your thermostat and lights to your refrigerator and self-driving car. Even the physical form of our devices is set to change, with research pouring into holographic displays and flexible, foldable screens that could one day be rolled up or even woven into our clothing. The smartphone revolution has been a whirlwind of innovation, a powerful force that has connected us, empowered us, and reshaped our world in ways we're still trying to fully understand. From its origins as a clumsy, voice-only brick to its current form as a sleek portal to all human knowledge, it has truly put the world in our pockets. As we stand on the brink of an even more connected future, it's crucial to remember that the smartphone is, at its core, a tool. And like any tool, its ultimate impact, whether it builds us up or tears us down, depends entirely on how we choose to use it. By harnessing its incredible power for good, while staying vigilant about its potential pitfalls, we can work to ensure this revolution continues to be a force for positive change in our global community. Thanks for tuning in to Fun Facts Online.